Hello everyone. This week I've been trying out the new Gucci Glow Skin Tint, and I was really happy to find out that this product does not include any fragrance in it, and it doesn't look like it has any other ingredients in it that were likely to be problematic for me, and so I did pick this up to give it a try. And this is a light coverage product. It is a silicone-based product, and so I have tried a lot of other products that are fairly similar in the past, and so I can do a comparison with the many other silicone-based skin tints that I've tried. And then in addition, a product that I think is fairly similar to this is also the Jones Road product. So the Jones Road Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer is not a silicone-based foundation, but I think it performs an awfully lot like one, and this is a product that I've been really enjoying and that just about everybody else seems to like also. And so I thought that what I would do in this video is a side-by-side comparison with this Gucci product so that you can get a sense of how they work in terms of being compared to one another. And so first, a little bit of information about me. I am 61 years old, and I have dry and very sensitive skin. And I've never had any kind of cosmetic procedures like injections or surgery or even lasers. And so when I use makeup products and especially foundations, I especially would like them to make me look a little bit fresher and a little bit healthier, and I definitely don't want them to be making my skin look worse than it already is in terms of wrinkles or other kinds of exacerbation of texture. And another thing that I have found is that there are certain ingredients that always do irritate my sensitive skin, and I know that those ingredients tend to be very irritating for many other people as well, and so I just don't talk about products that contain those ingredients on this channel, and one of those ingredients does tend to be various kinds of fragrances, but fortunately, again, this one does not have any of those kinds of ingredients in it. And so this Gucci Glow Skin Tint, it is described as being a lightweight tinted skin moisturizer that provides up to 24 hours of hydration for an all-day healthy glow and a flawless, barely there finish. And it is providing light coverage, they say, and it is available in 20 shades. And the shade that I picked up is shade 15, which is supposed to be for fair skin with cool to neutral undertones. And they say that you can apply it either with your fingers or with a brush. And in terms of the skincare ingredients that are in this, it includes some hyaluronic acid, which should be hydrating, and it includes some bakuchiol. And this is a botanical product, but it is supposed to be performing a little bit like retinol. And so it is supposed to, they say, leave skin smooth and soft. And in general, bakuchiol is known for being good for wrinkles and also actually apparently good for acne type issues. And then it also has some licorice root extract in it, and that is supposed to be brightening. And so one thing to know about Gucci Beauty is that they are licensed to Coty. And Coty is also the majority stake owner in a company that is called Kylie Cosmetics. And I actually have been using quite a few of the Kylie Cosmetics products with some success. And I especially actually do like their skin tint, which is made in Italy. And I think that has performed really, really well for me. That is a brand that is associated with the Kylie Jenner. And I'm not necessarily a big fan of the Jenner-Kardashian family. But I do feel like this line of products, they are using quite clean ingredients compared to many of the other products that are on the market, and they are relatively reasonably priced, and I do think that they perform really well. And I especially do like the Kylie Skin Tint, and that is made in Italy. And this product is actually also made in Italy, and so my suspicion here is that Coty has learned a lot about how to produce a product with good ingredients in it from their experiences with Kylie, and I would imagine that this may even be from the same factory. Now, the Kylie products do tend to be fairly reasonably priced, and this product is certainly much more expensive than that. And so in terms of the shades, there are 20 shades, and what they are saying is that 4 of these are deep, 4 of them are medium deep, 5 are medium, 4 are medium fair, and 3 of them are fair. And without any specific knowledge, what I would take a guess is that this line is probably more designed to appeal to people in Asia than it is designed for the American market. So before this product even came to market, there was a post on the Instagram site that is called Trend Mood, and it showed a photograph of some of the shades of the product. And then based on that particular post, a lot of people suggested that this product actually did not have enough shades and that it was not appropriate. And then there was a beauty makeup artist who picked up on that and suggested that this should be boycotted. And then New York Magazine, in terms of their section that is called The Cut, they wrote a whole article on this, and they suggested that the product needed to go back to the lab. And this was before anyone actually tried out the product. And so no one had a chance to see if there were actually a good shade for them or not. It was just based on this one photograph. And I think that this is a little bit jumping the gun, especially for New York Magazine. I think that their level of journalism could be a little bit better, and that before writing a big, long article like that, that maybe somebody should have actually tried out the product to see what it was like. And so I did take a look to see if I could find some people with dark skin that were wearing this product, and I did find someone who has medium deep skin, I guess she is saying, and this is Glam Girl Chelsea. And so the shade that she picked up was shade number 47, and this is described as medium deep, and she said that she was afraid that it would be too light for skin, but that surprisingly it did blend in really well and that it worked well for her. And she does have only medium to medium deep skin, but there are 6 darker shades in this line, and this is only a skin tint, and so there should be some flexibility. And so I would like to hear from people that have darker skin whether or not they are able to find a shade in this line, or if you find anybody that has reviewed this product that does have darker skin, then I would be interested in hearing what they have to say about it. And as I say, I do have very, very sensitive skin, and so far I feel like my skin has been doing fine with this product. I don't feel like it has been irritating for me, and I feel like this is something that I do feel comfortable wearing in terms of it not causing my skin to have irritation. And so let's take a look at the video footage. And so in terms of the performance, compared to a lot of the other skin tints that I've tried, and especially the silicone skin tints, this one seems a bit more thick and creamy. A lot of the other foundations that are out there seem a lot more runny. And this one does seem to go on pretty easily with the fingers, and although when I first put it on my skin it looks like it is pretty thick and it's giving more coverage than I probably would want, it did shear out really easily, and I do feel like it looks really nice and quite natural after I actually do put it on my skin. And so I think that it does a pretty good job of doing things like covering age spots or redness or things like that that I do have going on my skin. But I don't think that it looks like I am wearing a heavy foundation at all. I think it actually looks very natural, more like I'm not wearing foundation. And that is what I'm wearing today, and I'm pretty happy with how my skin is looking today as well. And so in general, I think on me, applied in just a regular way over just a regular moisturizer, I think that this is actually looking really, really good. And in terms of how I apply this to my skin, generally speaking, unless I have a reason not to, I tend to put on things with my fingers, and then I tend to use a buffing brush to just kind of go over it and try to make sure that it's all really even. And I think that that particular method worked pretty well with this particular foundation. In terms of powder, I did put a bit of powder on the top of this. Typically with silicone, I feel like if I can put just a little bit of a blurring powder on the top, that it will look a little bit more natural. But I really feel like this one is looking pretty natural to begin with. It dries down very easily, and I don't feel like it has that fake kind of shininess that a lot of silicone foundations do. But I did put a little bit of powder over the top of it, and I think that that looks nice also. So I don't think it exactly is blurring my wrinkles. I'm not sure that I look less wrinkled than I usually do when I'm wearing this foundation. And I also don't feel like it's necessarily providing a lot of plumpness to my face the way that some foundations do. But I do think it looks nice. I think it more looks like I am not wearing any kind of foundation at all and that I am having a good skin day, and that is a look that I feel really good about. And then in terms of the other products that I am wearing in this video footage, I am putting on the Jones Road Brow Pencil in the shade Ash. And so this is a product that I use very frequently because I can do it really fast and because this pencil does have little fibers in it. And so therefore it allows me to use a pencil on my brows that actually looks very natural rather than something that is just drawn on, because it looks like there's little hairs in my brows. And it only takes me, 10 seconds per brow, and so that is really appealing to me also. And then I'm using the RMS Hydra Setting Powder, and this is a powder that does have a little bit of moisturizing in it, and I think that it tends to work pretty well over a variety of foundations, and I think that with this one, it's just providing a little bit of blurring, and it makes it just look a little bit more natural. And then I am using also the RMS Hydra Concealer, and I purposely didn't use any of the concealer on my face because I wanted you to be able to see how much coverage I was able to get just from the foundation, and I think it did a pretty good job of providing coverage to my face in general without my needing to use a concealer. I think that my under eyes turned out to be pretty good with this. And I just used this concealer on my eyelids as a primer for eyeshadow, and that is something that I often do with this. And I think that in general, I love this RMS Hydra Concealer. I think it's been really terrific, and so I think that as an eyelid primer, it has worked fine for me. And I put on a little bit of the Ceracril Lip Grip just because whenever I put on any kind of a lipstick that is more like a matte or even a satin type lipstick, I do like to put that on first because I think it provides a good base for those kinds of lipsticks. And I am using the new pencil from Charlotte Tilbury, and so this is called the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Contour Duo, and I have this in the shade of Fair. And so one side of this pencil is a little bit more brown, and that's more like a liner shade, and then the other side of the pencil is more pink, and so that is more to fill in the lips. And I've been really happy with this, actually. I feel like it has worked really well in terms of giving me a slightly overlined look. And also, unlike some of the other Charlotte Tilbury lip pencils, this one does not have any cottonseed oil in it, and cottonseed oil just tend to be irritating for me. And so I'm really happy to have this particular product that doesn't have that ingredient. And then I thought that I would get out the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. And in general, I do think that these shades and the I Need a Warm palette are pretty good for fall. And then in terms of blush, I decided to try a couple of shades from Hourglass because the Hourglass palettes are now on the market for the holiday season. And so the two shades that I have in this palette, I have one that is called Lucid Glow, and the other one that is called Oasis Glow. And so I did make this particular palette myself as a customizable palette, and I think that these blushes are fine. I think that they are kind of pretty on my skin. I don't know that these Hourglass blushes are my favorite blushes on the market, but I think that they are very nice. And then also in this palette there is a finishing powder, and the shade that I have in here is called Soft Light, so it's a little bit on the yellowish side, and so I did put a little bit of this on the top. And I do really like the Hourglass powders because I think that they provide a nice kind of blurring and glow to my skin that I think looks very nice in person, and I think it looks even better usually on camera. And so I think that that is part of why these Hourglass palettes are so popular, because they do look really good when people that are on YouTube use them on camera. And then as a lipstick, I decided to use one of my Armani Lip Power lipsticks, and the shade that I have is the shade Mania, and this is a satin version, and it is shade number 110. And so now let's move on to the footage where I am comparing this to Jones Road, just enough tint and moisturizer, and so I put that one on one side of my face, and then I put the Gucci Glow Skin Tint on the other side, and so you can take a look and see what you think. And personally, I feel like they are looking pretty similar on both sides of my face as I apply them. I don't feel like they're giving different amounts of coverage, and I think that they both look fairly similar in terms of even the texture, but also in terms of how naturally they look on the skin. And I think that they both held up pretty well throughout the day, and that I was able to wear these on a couple of different occasions, and I think that regardless, that by the end of the day that both of these were looking quite good, so I was really happy about that. Now, the one difference that I did find to be the case is that I did go out and I went on a walk with my dog on a day that was really warm and that was really kind of humid, and so I was sweating a bit on that day. And what I did find is that the two sides of my face did feel much different in terms of how comfortable that they were. And what I felt like with the Gucci Glow Skin Tint was that that side felt like it was sweating, and that the sweat was being held underneath the foundation, and that it was kind of uncomfortable. And so I always describe this as feeling like I have a Ziploc bag on top of my skin, or saran wrap, and then that the moisture from my sweat is not being able to evaporate, and so therefore that can feel kind of uncomfortable, and I'm not sure it's that great for my skin either. Whereas on that same walk on the other side of my face, I definitely did notice that the Jones Road one felt much more comfortable, and that that was a foundation that I did feel okay about wearing, even for that particular walk. And so in general, I think that the big difference in these products that I am seeing is that the Jones Road one just seems to perform better for me regardless of what I'm doing, and it feels better on my skin. And I really would prefer that the moisture on my skin be able to evaporate easily. I think that that is a really important thing for me. The other thing that can be an issue for me, especially with silicone-based skin tints or foundations, is that sometimes when I wear them at the end of the day, I have a hard time getting them off my skin. And so that is really important to me, and it can be really annoying if I cannot. In this case, I do feel like I was able to get both of these products off my face pretty easily and pretty equally. And so I either was using the Clinique Take the Day Off cleansing balm, or else the Pharmacy cleansing balm, and I think that both of these worked fine for me. I didn't have any problems at all. And so that does make me more interested in wearing this. And then in terms of the rest of this makeup look, I am again using the Jones Road Brow Pencil. And then I have the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Lip Plus Cheek Glow Stick, and this is in the shade Cherry Glow. And so I wanted to try this product from Charlotte Tilbury, and I do like the formula, but I was kind of disappointed that all of the shades are really bright. I don't quite know what's wrong with them, that they didn't release a Pillow Talk type shade in this particular foundation, because I would have really enjoyed that one, and I think a lot of other people would have also. And so in lieu of a more muted shade, I did decide to pick up this red shade, and I think that red blush usually looks fairly nice on my skin in a little bit more of a bright way, but something that looks like it could be natural, and so I thought that I would give that a try along with this foundation. And then I did pick out red lipstick also. And so the red lipstick that I have the Lip Definer by Victoria Beckham in the shade Red, and then her red lipstick, which is called the Posh Lipstick in the shade Pop. And then to balance that out, I just put on a bit of mascara from Jane Iredale, and this is called, I think, the Lash Fixation Mascara, and it's a tubing mascara, and I've really been liking that one quite a lot. And they came out with a brown version of it recently, and so I'm looking forward to giving that one a try. And then I just tried a little bit more of the RMS Hydra Setting Powder, and a little bit of this blush stick from House Labs, and this is called Glassy Cayenne. And so this is sort of a bronzy reddish color, and so I just thought I would try a little bit of that along with the red blush. And then a little bit of the Sarah Creel After Hours shade in her lip gloss. And so that's, again, a reddish shade. And so personally, my feeling is that when I compared both the Jones Road and the Gucci products side by side in real life, I thought that they looked pretty similar to one another. And I personally feel like they look pretty similar on camera. But please take a look at the footage and let me know which one you like better, or if you think that they also look the same. And so I have tried a lot of skin tints, and so you can see what my ratings of the skin tint that I've tried so far are. And I do really like this Jones Road one. And there are a number of other products that I also do like that are fairly similar to this one, and I certainly would be willing to keep wearing this one from Gucci, but I would be not very inclined to wear it if I'm going to be going outside or if I think that I'm going to be sweating. And I feel like this is more a foundation that I would wear if I'm just going to be just sitting around the house or doing something where I'm going to mostly be indoors and not going to be sweating. So thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. And I would like to know from you what kind of skin tints you have liked, what your favorites are. That would be really interesting and informative. In addition, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, then I hope you will go ahead and do that. And if you liked the video, then I hope you will go ahead and hit like, because supposedly that helps the algorithm. And also, if you haven't joined my Facebook group yet, then I would love to see you there. So the name of the group is 40 Plus Beauty with Lisa Petrison, and the idea of the group is for us to talk about all kinds of things that we might be doing to help ourselves to look a little bit fresher and a little bit happier as we get older. And Coco and I do love you very much, and so thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. Ba-da-ba-da-da-bum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.